I-86 After Dark recommends simply the best cleaning services. Call 716-912-6940. Western New York's cleaning and restoration leader. From Buffalo to Long Island, this is I-86 After Dark.
Hi, welcome to I-86 After Dark. It is Wednesday night, December 3rd, and of course, got Buffalo Bob, we got the Great Dame. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm a little under the blue because my voice is a little scratchy, but I'll survive. And plus, not to mention, I had to deal with your stupid ass for 5 days in Pittsburgh, of all places.
Hey, it's all good, man. Hey, you know you love me. It's all good.
I know.
Dave, how's it going, man?
It's good. I missed you guys last week. You know, had family in town from Virginia. So it was a good 5 days off. Just enjoying myself. We did mini golf. We did karaoke. So I'll get into that a little later.
Very cool. Yeah, and then of course I got home early on Tuesday morning, and then still ended up getting stuck driving through the snow bands both ways, but all was good. Ended up coming home sick though, so I'm not feeling too good. So whether I stay for the entire show or not tonight, who knows what'll happen, but we'll play it by ear. So yeah, that being said, it was a fun time, and we both got to do quite a bit when we were down there and see a lot of the city. Actually, we caught a Penguins game, which that was a total disaster. We'll probably talk about a little bit later. Let's just say it was a total ass whipping by the Toronto Maple Leafs, and we actually did see some Maple Leafs fans get arrested, so there was that. But
that's a bonus.
Yeah, fun times in the upper deck. And then, of course, we're going to talk about the Bills and Steelers game because that is our big thing that we want to kick off tonight with. So, of course, if you are watching, we appreciate it. Feel free to leave some comments, and let's dive right into it. So, of course, the Buffalo Bills beat the Pittsburgh Steelers 26-7. Just to give you an idea of what it was like a nothing game for passing. I mean, Josh Allen only went 15 out of 23 for 123, had a touchdown and an interception, and then Rodgers went 10 for 21 for 117. So basically nothing there. The run game, I mean, James Cook had 144 yards on 32 carries, which was great to see. Ray Davis, 62 yards on 9 carries. And then Josh Allen actually had 38 yards on 8 carries, and Ty Johnson had 5 yards on 2 carries. So we got to see some good stuff. Of course, the big news that ended up coming out is right after the game, the Pittsburgh Steelers ended up waiving Darius Slay. Guess where he ended up today? Here.
The Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, he is now with the Buffalo Bills. And, of course, guess who the Pittsburgh Steelers decided to go with? Adam Thielen.
It's so typical of Pittsburgh. It's like they have this little rah-rah speech where it's like, this is unacceptable. And then some jackass Steelers fan that's been a fan for like 20 years will come out of the blue and say, oh, don't worry, guys. Tomlin's going to sign somebody that was from the 2018 Pro Bowl, and then he's going to say it's inexcusable. We need more offensive help. And then you go get Adam Thielen, who didn't do shit in his second stint with the Vikings, and now all of a sudden he's just going to magically do better with the Steelers?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, so how are you guys feeling about the Slay move anyway?
I mean, I don't mind it from a depth perspective, but as a starting role, I don't think it's up there for him anymore. I mean, if it was 5 years ago, I'd say definitely a great pickup, but Darius Slay is like 33.
Well, he's going to be 35 soon.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's like in the tail end of his career at this point. I mean, there is one good thing about it. We only owe him $350,000 to finish out the season.
Yeah,
I guess it's low risk, high reward, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was on a 1-year deal.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad ordeal. I mean, he does bring experience, and he definitely brings veteran leadership, and that's going to really help them in the push to make the playoffs. I guess, when you go dumpster diving, because Damien and I talked about this, it's like, oh, you go get Brandon Cooks last week. This week you go get Darius Slay. Like, congratulations. You're still bitter that you didn't make that big trade that everyone was hoping you would do about a month ago. Like, no, sorry, I'm not going to trade a first-round pick for Jalen Wild. Let me just go get Brandon Cooks. Let me go sign Darius Slay. Fuck you guys.
Yeah, and Cooks only had one catch for 13 yards, if anyone's wondering.
Yeah. Well, you know what I thought was really odd about it too was like he's joining a Bills secondary that's actually allowing a league low 163.2 passing yards. Mm-hmm. And I didn't think that the Bills defense was that good, especially the secondary.
Yeah, they really weren't. And actually Lawrence jumps on and he says, was the Bills defense that good or was Pittsburgh's offense that bad? Well, we saw it in person. Pittsburgh's offense was absolute shit.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Yeah, it's a bit of both because
I mean, Rodgers does have a broken hand, doesn't he, or something?
Yeah, something magical out of his ass.
Plus he was out for one play because he got his nose messed up.
Oh yeah, I have a lot to say about Rodgers, but I also want to touch on Cameron Hayward because that dude's a fucking bitch.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about him. And then Lawrence also says, I think Tomlin would be a good coach for Giants. Well, shit, anyone would be an upgrade for the Giants at this point.
No, bite your tongue, Larry.
Yeah.
I don't want him on my Giants.
Yeah. I mean, the only good run that Tomlin had was basically Bill Cowher's team at the 2018 Super Bowl. Other than that, he hasn't done anything. And of course, the other fun thing that we ended up hearing was, and this went viral, the Fire Tomlin chant.
Yes.
And they do Renegade, which never happens.
Yeah. I just want to say from that experience of being at the game and then like legitimately sitting in the crowd, for one, in the first half, I was legit cold. I couldn't feel my toes in the first half. But then when the Bills were starting to pick up points in the second half, and they did something that the Steelers didn't do, which was adjust. They didn't adjust. And Pittsburgh said, okay, we like what we have, so we're just going to sit on our hands and let the Bills just run their game. And it's like a list of excuses that have come out for them. Like Renegade, for example. Renegade, the fact that Steelers fans booed Renegade from their perspective, in a way, is sacrilegious.
Yeah. But why would you play that song when you were getting ass beaten down?
I would love to know the answer to that question because I don't know why. Maybe they're just so entitled to it. Like they've played it when the Steelers have lost games in the past, but not to this extent. If the Buffalo Bills of all teams are breaking your spirit about Renegade of all teams, and then say fire Tomlin.
Yeah, but do you really think that Pittsburgh's going to fire Tomlin?
No, of course not.
Yeah. They haven't fired a coach in like my lifetime.
Yeah.
They never have.
Yeah, they usually either just mutually part ways at the end of a contract or that's it.
And you wonder why the Steelers are a joke right now.
Yeah.
Wonder why they're a joke.
Yeah, but how about Cam Hayward? Oh, Josh Allen hit me in the stomach.
Yeah, really. Yeah. I saw that too. What were you going to say, Damien? Go ahead.
No, I wasn't going to say anything.
Oh. Yeah, no, and the fact that, we saw that in person, Tom, I think really solidifies every case we ever made when it came to the Steelers. Because it's like Cameron Hayward has gotten away with stupid shit in his career. But the one time that someone stands up to him, he throws a bitch fit. Like, didn't he try to, like, punch a lineman on the Lions a few years ago?
Yeah, there was something he did with that.
Yeah, and then we also come to learn that Cameron Hayward is a whiny bitch. It's like, dude, you've been in the NFL for like 15 years, and you're going to act like a bitch? You would say, okay, it was a one-time thing, move on. But no, he was like, I want him suspended. I want his rights to play football away like a communist. He's like, I want you to strip his NFL career. I want him flagged. I want him fined. I'm like, Cameron, shut the fuck up. You're not special. You're a defensive tackle who's been playing longer than he has, and you have this quarterback who is an absolute madman, by the way, laughing at your face, and it's like, yeah, it's going to be one of those games. And I caught a clip in that game, like when we came home from the hotel, I saw a clip where Tony Romo made a comment, and the comment is that to Cameron A, where it's like, the last person you want to make somebody mad right now is Josh Allen. And he went out like a raging bull.
Yeah, he did. And actually, Larry's got a few more comments here for us, too. So he basically, the one he says is he fired up. And Josh Allen, yeah, he's right. I mean, because Josh Allen started to really kind of take control in that second half. And of course, it really all started with the Bills defense to scoop and score.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Started with Bosa, but now Bosa's probably going to be out this week. So
yeah, he didn't practice earlier today.
Yeah, I think McDermott said that he's out week to week at this point.
yeah, it's going to be a big loss.
It is a big loss because I thought genuinely he was going to play all the games this year because he was on a stacked Bills defense at the beginning of the year. And then it's like, oh, Bosa got hurt. It's like, oh, Joey Bosa has hardly ever played a full game of like all 18 games in one season that he's been in the league, which is pathetic because we were all saying, Tom, remember in the beginning when they signed Bosa, we said he's probably going to get hurt by training camp or something like that.
Yeah, we were speculating that.
Yeah, and then 3 months into the season, he hasn't gotten hurt until up to this point.
Yeah, very true. But, it's going to be tough because, going into Cincinnati, the thing you got to watch is their defense can show up, and we've seen it. We actually, one of our Road to 32 games that we actually saw was in Cincinnati 2 years ago, and we saw them lose.
Yeah, I remember that. 2 years ago, that was a completely different ball team. For one, it was Ken Dorsey running the offense, and two, the Bengals are a very heavy pass team. So that's one thing I've come to learn about the Bengals.
Yep. And I remember all four of us that went, we did the walk of shame back across the Ohio River over to Newport, Kentucky.
Yep. Let's hope this time around that the Bills have their priorities straight and they can hopefully beat the Bengals.
Well, this is going to be a totally different kind of game because, it was primarily running in this game. And now they're going against Cincinnati Bengals D that's 32nd in the league against the pass. So this is going to have to be a Josh Allen heavy pass game.
Well, yeah. You also have to work on that run game because their run defense is not great either.
Right.
But the good news is the Bills since 2020 are 18-3 in December.
Yeah.
That is a plus. That is a plus.
But you know what, though? There's a lot to look forward to for that game. The Bills are not out of the woods yet, but they're in a much better position than they were a week prior.
No, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Except going into that game, that first half, I thought, here we go again. I was like, oh, shit, here we go.
I was thinking the same thing, and literally that first half was probably one of the more boring first halves of football I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
You think they did that intentionally just to fuck with the Steelers?
Yes.
I don't think so. I would love to say that. I don't think they did, though.
It could be genuine for all we know.
Yeah. Still, though, it was one of the more boring first halves I've seen. It was literally fall asleep worthy of how boring that first half was.
Well, first off, how were you supposed to fall asleep at minus 30 degrees?
It wasn't minus 30 degrees. It was maybe 27 out. But hey, you know what? Here's what I did. Had the insulated boots. It was in 3 layers. Had the Under Armour, all that stuff. I was warm the entire time, except for just wind blowing across my face.
Right, but it was also that one game where we're thinking, okay, well, they have to, if they're going to make the playoffs, they have to win this game.
Yeah,
and
of course.
I think the same could be said for the Steelers. And I've also come to learn that their fans are a bunch of douchebags.
Yeah, they are a different breed down there.
It's not like douchebaggery Philadelphia douchebaggery, but it's pretty douchebaggery in terms of, oh, we had 6 Super Bowl rings. I'm like, yeah, guess what? You haven't won a ring in 20 fucking years.
Yeah, really.
It's
and most of them were with Terry Bradshaw.
Or with Ben Roethlisberger in this earlier years.
Yeah, true story.
But it's true, though. Ben was a great quarterback, but at that day and age in the modern NFL, not a chance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, Pittsburgh's got a lot of stuff that they have to fix up. I mean, if they want to make a legit run, but what they showed was absolutely pathetic in terms of their ability to adjust, which they didn't do. Then, of course, Patrick Queen got hurt. Hayward did nothing anyways. I mean, their entire defense didn't really show up, so there wasn't much for them to do.
No. And it's kind of crazy to think like this is a team with Aaron Rodgers, DK Metcalf, Jalen Warren, Pat Freiermuth, a decent offensive line. It's like, what the shit is this, Steelers? I thought you guys were better than that. But no, they decided to, shit the bed.
They did. Even TJ Watt didn't do too much.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of TJ Watt, apparently he made a comment after the game, and he said, I have never seen a team run the ball over and over and over and over and over again with the same scheme and still have success. Yeah,
that was like one thing I noticed, though. They were using the same formation for the majority of their running plays. And Pittsburgh didn't adjust.
A lot of people were saying that was Brady's calling, but I mean, I think he was calling out his own team. They weren't able to stop the same play over and over and over again.
Yeah. It reminds me, actually, there was a true story, just side note real quick. During the Bills Super Bowl era, when they went to the fourth straight, I remember this one time, and back when Coach Chuck Dickerson was still alive, and he was on WGR 550, I remember him telling the story about one game where they only ran 4 schemes the entire game. 4. And the other team would not adjust. So it kind of reminds me, it's similar to what happened here, where we ran the same scheme and the Steelers just didn't adjust to it.
Yeah, so we're playing Tecmo Bowl, where you get a choice of 3 or 4 plays.
Right. Be like Madden, you run the same thing over and over again.
Well, I mean, it's not surprising. I mean, I don't know if it's like if Tomlin overstayed his welcome or the team just straight up sucks. Because remember, not all this falls on Tomlin. Like, it plays a big part of it. But it's also the accountability of the players. Hayward, Watt, Rodgers. Those guys are all future Hall of Famers. And they're supposed to be the ones that lead the team, during adversity. And they didn't bother. Instead, they took the latter option.
Yeah, and even Rodgers at the end of the game didn't want to answer certain questions either. So he was just irritated about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I think he's checked out at this point because he's going to retire in 5 weeks, 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, the Bills' D looked really good against an inept offense with the Steelers. But, I mean, how do you feel they're going to be this week against a kid from Home Alone?
Yeah.
They're going to have to adjust. I mean, like any team. But we'll see because the Bengals are kind of waiting on a silver line here because now there's this false belief that Bengals fans think that they could, because of their record and because beating the Ravens and getting Burrow back, they now suddenly drink some beautiful potion and now they're just having this thought process of maybe we can actually make a run and make it the playoffs. It's not possible. You have Pittsburgh and Baltimore playing each other and you hope that the Bengals at this point go 5-1. Unless the Bills beat them, you shut them up right there.
Mm-hmm. Very true. And Larry's got another comment. He said Aaron Rodgers is washed up. And yeah, you're 100% right about that. He looked like ass the entire game.
Yeah, he was washed up about 5 years ago.
Yeah, true story. Yep, and real quick side note, pretty much at the end of the first, the Sabres are down 3-1. And guess what? Here's something that we've come to know and love. The Sabres only have 4 shots on goal.
Yay.
Yeah, and the Flyers have 11. Oh, and even better, Krebs goes in the box for 2 minutes for high sticking. So the Flyers will start the second period with a power play.
Jeez.
Yeah. More to talk about that in the next half of the show. We'll talk about the Sabres and some other stuff, but I just figured to give you your quick real-time game update.
Yeah. So, Jamian, how do you feel about the Giants game this past week against the Patriots?
I mean, it would have been nice if the Giants could have at least helped the Buffalo Bills, but it didn't happen. Good news is, though, we can't lose this week because we're on the bye.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the only team that can lose in the bye are the Jets.
That is true.
I mean, I'm not
the
wrong.
Jets.
There was some storylines in that game. Koo missing that field goal.
That extra point.
I don't know. I don't know what the hell he was doing.
Yeah, I was gonna say I saw that, and it's like his foot got like stuck or something, and then
It looked like he stepped a little too far past the ball, and then decided, well, fuck it, I'm just gonna kick right into the ground now. And then he got the punter drilled.
Mm-hmm.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense because what the Giants are trying to do is they're trying to do more than they should be. Why can't just Young-Ho Koo just kick the ball like a normal person? Instead, he's doing a golf simulator with his foot so far, like he's putting his foot up someone's ass, and he says, "Oh, it's stuck," and then yank it out, and then the Patriots come and kick your ass.
Yeah.
Well, my favorite was he was like, well, the hold wasn't what I liked.
Yeah, and he said the ball
a good
was
way
slippery.
to never get a hold the way you like is to let the guy get drilled.
Yeah,
then he's never going to hold it for you.
Yeah, and Edwards says, looks like Vegas threatened their kicker's life.
Sounds about right. I mean, I think Atlanta should be the one threatening his life.
Yeah.
Considering he didn't do shit in Atlanta, even though he was there for an extended period of time.
Yeah, but that wasn't even the hardest hit in the game. The hardest hit in the game, Dart took that one.
Oh, yeah,
out the sideline, ended up in his own bench.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this guy is insane. And then his quote was, we're playing football. We're not out here playing soccer.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I hate to tell Dart that I played soccer. I played hockey, baseball, basketball, soccer. The most hurt I've ever gotten playing a sport was soccer. I got my only concussion, and I ripped a tendon in the bottom of my foot. And that was playing soccer. So I hate when anybody compares soccer as a soft sport, because it definitely is not.
No, it's not. I mean, I don't watch soccer, but even you can't even argue that.
Yeah,
No.
I remember.
I mean, everybody just looks at the guys rolling on the ground, hurt all
Right.
the time, faking injuries. Yeah, I hate that shit, but it's a tough sport.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember taking a soccer ball off the head once. It felt like my brain was rattling for a little bit.
Oh, yeah, mine was moving in my head. I felt it.
Yeah, and I think I had like a slight concussion or something from that.
Yeah. But this is now the fourth time this season that Dart has been evaluated for a concussion. If he keeps playing like this is going to be a very, very short career for him.
Yeah, it would be. And that's a sad thing for him, too, because he actually has the potential to be a fairly good QB.
He does, but then again, you also have to take a look at it from the outer perspective because Dart is a good quarterback, except the Giants have nothing to give to him at the moment. And there's all that talk, Damien, you and I talked about Jalen Waddle. Didn't even happen.
Yeah, but they're going to have probably the second overall pick. There is talk of them trading down to take one of the top receivers in the draft this year. And then with Neighbors coming back and Scatabo coming back, could be dangerous next year. Just right now, I just don't see the point of playing Dart. He's just going to get hurt.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. But Tom actually pulled out a meme, which I'm going to pull up in a second, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah, this got posted on Twitter not too long after.
Yeah, I'll show you the picture real quick. It's a picture of Young-Ho Koo trying to kick the ball, but he's dressed up like Michael Jackson.
I saw a bunch of ones with like Lucy pulling the football away from Charlie Brown.
That's a classic.
Yeah, who can ever forget that?
No, I can't either. But yeah, no, here we go. There is the picture, guys. That's great.
Pretty accurate.
Yep.
All you have to go is, That's great. That is awesome.
Yeah, all you have to do is do that and clutch his balls at the same time, and there you go.
I love that. I love that. He has to clutch his balls.
Hey, we all know Jacko did that all the time. He loved it.
Yeah, he did. That's true. But yeah, no. What do you think of the Thanksgiving game that happened over the week? There were 3 of them. Why don't we just go over all 3 of them individually?
I'm gonna be quite honest with you. I didn't really watch too many of the Thanksgiving games.
I know, because you were too busy fucking a turkey.
Yep, I fucked that thing up.
And it comes in with stuffing.
Like that part in the Scary Movie too.
Oh yeah.
That's funny. I like that.
Yeah. I will tell you one thing though. Thank you, Dallas Cowboys, for beating the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes, that was a great comeback.
Yes. It was.
So Dallas did America a favor.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. And Larry says the Giants defense need a whole new defense also. Yeah, he's right about that.
Well,
yeah, but a lot of them have been hurt this year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you also have to take into account that Mike Kafka is now the interim head coach. That's not doing shit.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I mean, what's he supposed to do? He's got a really inept offense right now that can't really move the ball. It's been like that for a while.
In a way, that's true, but you never really know what you're going to get out of it. But I hope the Giants do the right thing and hire a proper coach.
Yeah. I'll tell you what we get out of it, a top 5 draft pick again.
Yeah.
Which is all I wanted. This is all I wanted this year.
Well, you better hope you better hope you don't end up with another Evan Neal on your team.
Nah, I don't want that.
Right.
But yeah, no, the Cowboys did America a huge favor by beating the Chiefs, and KC could potentially miss the playoffs. And their record shows right now that they could very well miss the playoffs at 6-6. They're now in a category with like the Panthers, the Texans, the Ravens, I think, or even the Steelers. There's a bunch of teams that they have the same record with, and that's embarrassing for Kansas City.
Yeah.
I mean, I was happy with all the results on Thanksgiving, except for the Lions going down to the Packers.
Yeah.
I did watch a little bit of that game, and there was some bullshit refereeing there. Like a late timeout to avoid the delay of game. It was clearly called after the fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the referees lately have been kind of sus.
Yeah. Lions not getting any love, man.
Yeah, there's definitely been some questionable calls.
Yeah, for certain. But I will say is that Detroit, they are nowhere near what they were a year ago or 2 years ago even.
Mm-hmm.
No, and St. Brown's gone now for at least a game or two.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is that in fantasy, my opponent had Ahmed St. Brown, and he didn't even get one snap, and then the ankle injury came, and I'm like, my God, did I get away with that?
I don't want to talk about fantasy. It's our playoffs, and my best player, C-Mac, is on bye this week. I'm like, how the hell do we do that? How did we do that? But I was like, oh, man.
Yeah. Why didn't you just do the playoffs in week 15?
Well, I think we're gonna do because right now we have 6 teams to make the playoffs, and we do 1 week, 2 week. So I think next year we're just gonna go 1-1-1. Because I don't want to play. I don't want to do the last week of the season. That's a whole nother can of worms. So I'd rather just cut that out.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. But what do you guys think of the Bengals-Ravens game on Thursday? Because I'm not gonna lie. I went to bed at half because I had to get up for Pittsburgh the next day.
That was the one game I missed. Totally missed.
Yeah, and I ended up sleeping early because of leaving for the trip, so I didn't really catch much of it at all.
Okay, so none of us have an opinion on that. Let's move on.
Very much so. Very much so. Yeah, so we're on to 32, Tom. What do you think of that trip that you and I went on? Do you think we should tell Damien the story?
I think your Wi-Fi's cutting out, dude.
You hear what I said now?
Now you're coming in better.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you clearly. Can you hear me, Tom?
Yeah, now I can hear you better.
Do you want to tell Damien the story about Route 32 in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, so let's see how it starts. So we both ended up driving down on Friday. I ended up picking up Rob at the airport. So we did that in the morning. We ended up meeting up with Bobby and Brittany for lunch at Southern Tier Brewery, which it's only about like a block or two from the stadium. So it actually worked out pretty good with everything. And good food. We got to go down and do the stadium tour. So that was definitely a lot of fun. Part of the stadium tour, of course, we got to go onto the field. And one of the things that we typically do when we have done the stadium tours, we actually touch the field and we actually curse it, because every single time we've done that, we've won. So there was that. We got to see a lot of cool things like the Hall of Honor and different things there. But we actually didn't get to go in the press box or the press conference room like we have in the last couple of tours, but that's all right. So we ended up doing that. And then let's see, Friday night, we ended up going to dinner at one of my favorite places down there called Sesame Inn up in Mount Lebanon, which great place for Chinese sushi. They have some Thai food there. And I was going to say, of course, had to go with my standard, the General Tso's chicken, which was enough to last me for a good couple days. And the steamed dumplings were great. And then what was the sushi roll you had that was really good?
It was called the Steeler Roll.
Yeah, that was really good. And I think with what you had on there, it was like the sushi rice had like pistachio or something. You had like the shrimp, you had like seared tuna or something with it, and I mean it was
something in that category. Like I remember getting the Steeler Roll, and Brittany got like fried rice, and then she also got like chicken, I believe. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think you guys had like sesame chicken or something like that.
Because she wasn't allowed to have sushi.
And did you have the cream of Sung Young guy?
I did drink a bottle of Sapporo though.
So. Yeah, that was the thing. He was drinking out. You and Rob were drinking out of that little cup with alcohol in it.
Well, Rob had like a freaking thing of sake. So they actually did have that there, but no, great place overall. I mean, a lot of good food, and we took food back to our B&B. I know you guys took stuff back also, and it was a good time. We actually got in fairly quickly, and really good service all the way around. And then Edward says the Steeler Roll probably has fries in it. Actually, it didn't.
It does not.
But I will say, Permani Brothers, they throw fries on everything.
Yeah, so, no, that's what I usually eat when I go down there. I gotta get myself a Permani Brothers.
Yeah, and I mean, I've had Permani Brothers before. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, they have one in Erie now also, but
yeah.
I mean, is it special? Not really at this point. I've had it before, but no, very good place overall. So we did that, and then of course, then the following day, we ended up driving about a half hour south down to Waffle House down in Washington, Pennsylvania, and of course, Rob had to find his collectibles because he's obsessed with that. And then, of course, we had some stuff made up, which I'll tell you about that in a moment. We also managed to we ended up driving like almost an hour north to the North Hills, where we saw the Paul Skeens rookie card at the Dick's House of Sport at Ross Park Mall, which they had like a huge display for it. They actually have a ton of collectible items in there. They have like a full section just for that. So you could buy collectible cards, and they had like something crazy in it. They had like a football that was like crystal and some different things. It was kind of nuts, with what they had on that, and a lot of cool stuff in there. And it's actually for people in the Buffalo area at Dick's House of Sport. They have like an outdoor field. They actually had a nice rink set up at this one, and they have a rock climbing wall and different things. So of course, when it opens in Amherst in 2026, it's kind of an idea. It's definitely like a higher end place, to say the least. And then after we did that, we didn't have a ton of time to explore them all because, of course, just the time it would take us to get back. We wanted to just make sure we had enough time. And then we ended up, then it was just me, Bob, and Rob. We ended up jumping on the train. We went to the Pens game. And we actually, ironically enough, ended up eating at Bosa Pizza. So
yeah, as in like Joey Bosa.
Mm-hmm. So, and it was good. It was good.
Which is really ironic because I was going to say, we'll get into the Penguin side of things in a little bit. But Sunday was very interesting. Let me tell you, Damien, the weather was fucking cold in Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
it was freezing. It was like 27 degrees, maybe like 30, but a lot of it was like wind and rain and a little bit of snow, and it was a little bit of a mixed bag. But the weather started to drop because it was getting dark. It just kept dropping and dropping and dropping.
Well, was it really cold, Ginger Hammer?
I will say, I mean, I've been to some cold games here. Luckily we were not getting a lot of rain or snow, but the wind was cold. I mean, the winds were up in the 30s, so I mean, you could definitely feel it. But I mean, just bundling up, I mean, I was fine for the most part. So, but yeah, you could definitely feel the wind though.
Yeah, Bobby's used he's used to being on the tropical island of Long Island.
It's not tropical.
Yeah, and you were wearing your Bills sneakers, and I was telling you, it's like, dude, wear like some insulated boots or something, like I did. Keep yourself warm.
Well, first off, those are my really good Bill sneakers for one. And two, I wasn't expecting my feet to be that cold that quickly. And three, I was pretty dressed pretty warm, and I kind of went into saying, I knew it was going to be cold, but I didn't know it was going to be that cold. I think to me, that was probably either the first or second coldest game I've ever been to in my life. The first one was in New England a few years ago in 2022. That was like one of the very first few like episodes of Road to 32 we've ever done was the New England Patriots. And I think if I remember, it was like 24 degrees at that time. And the other game I did was in 2018, which was Rangers Sabres at Citi Field in the Winter Classic. That was cold. That was like -10 at that time.
Yeah, mine is still the New England playoff game, the perfect game when the Bills never punted. Yeah. I think it was like -40 or 50 with the wind chill.
Yeah, there was something crazy with it.
It was very, very cold at that time. But you know what, though? We made the best of it. It was an all-day event anyway. Because if I'm not mistaken, Tom and I said we're going to take the train to the stadium, which we did. Because the original plan was we were going to go to the Southern Station and take a ferry to the game. But then he's
originally we were going to stop at Station Square and take the Gateway Clipper over. But what happened is that they're doing work on the tunnels, so that was all closed off. So we rode all the way to Allegheny Station, which is where the stadium is. It drops off right in front of the gate. So we just did it in reverse. We took the Clipper ferry back to Station Square afterwards, but it all worked out. And I will say that the ferry boat has a bar on there. That was kind of cool. So they had that, and it was nice and heated on the inside. But the observation deck, you could see some really cool shots of the city, and get to take some really good pictures and everything. So that part was cool. I will say they had like a pretty good fan section set up like outside the stadium, like prior to the games. And of course, I know we went in the team store for a little bit, which that was one of the better team stores I've seen. I will say that. I think they redid it a few years ago, but
so what'd you guys get for souvenirs? Huh?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. Well, one of the things that Brittany and I do is when we see a certain team, no matter who it is, we get a rally towel. But we knew going into Pittsburgh, we were getting the terrible towel. But there's a twist in the end, which I'll get to in a minute. It's that as we got a original terrible towel, not the original, but we got a terrible towel with the Acrisure Shore Stadium logo and the Steelers logo, which was like, okay, standards. But I think what really caught my attention was we not only got that, we also got the game day pin and we got the helmet pin for our board here in my house. So that actually worked out very nicely. But we also ended up getting like souvenir cups and things like that. But the funny thing about the pins is we actually got the pins on Friday, not Sunday. And the funny thing is when we got the pins, they told us that they would not be up for sale to the public until like 11 p.m. at that time. And I'm like smiling. I'm like, all right, thank you. I turn around, I'm like, yeah, we got it. We got it. And it's actually really nice too, actually, believe it or not.
Yep. And then, of course, a day of, and a lot of cool stuff going on around the stadium. And actually, I will say, grabbed a really good barbecue sandwich. They had like a nice open pit going on. So grabbed that and figured, hey, have that versus getting something inside. And, so a lot of good stuff that they had going on. And just the whole experience was actually, it was good. It was definitely an easy stadium to get around. So much better than anything in Cincinnati was, because Cincinnati, that was a clusterfuck trying to
Oh
get
my
around that.
God. Yeah.
This place, easy.
Yeah, if you want to get a full recap of how we both felt about Cincinnati, check out our Road to 32 episode on the Cincinnati Bengals on our YouTube channel right here. So go for it. Look in the playlist section, find Road to 32, the football section, and listen to the review of what I said in the Bengals video. So let me put it at that perspective. But
so you didn't get like a crazy drinking vessel?
No, we didn't have to. It was like basically we just got the souvenir cup and be done with it. The Steelers did offer a souvenir cup if you bought it with like hot chocolate, but I didn't bother.
Gotcha.
So, but it's like
I'm still trying to get my Buffalo Sabre cup.
Yeah.
But they're only selling them on Fridays and Saturdays, and I've been to a couple games since then, but not on Friday and Saturday. And the next time I go on a Saturday is the 20th, and they're probably going to be sold out by then.
Against the Islanders.
Yeah.
Why don't you go early?
I could, but I don't know. We'll see.
If I were you, man, I would do it.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of the bars around the stadium now are offering to fill your Sabre now. They have like Sabre fills.
Oh, nice.
Well, I was going to say they probably do it just because, they need to drink their sorrow away.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Southern Tier's right there, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Right over in the Harbor Center. Yep. The former 716 Food and Sport, which I will say Southern Tier is a major upgrade.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I will tell you is that I have started putting together the clips from the Pittsburgh trip. Like, the first chapter from when we got in and things like that. So it's still like in the first stages of like development, but Road to 32 for both the Steelers and the Penguins are coming out in a couple of weeks.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then let's see. So then after that, we got back. I mean, pretty much didn't really do too much afterwards. And then let's see. Monday.
What about the incline?
Yeah, we did ride the incline after the game, which was pretty cool. Got to see some really nice shots of the downtown at the top of Mount Washington. So there's an observation deck actually right next to the Monongahela incline, and absolutely worth seeing. I mean, it's only like $275 to ride up, but I mean, we had the all day pass, so we were good. But it literally, if you want to see like some of the best views of the stadium and the downtown, I mean, beautiful spot to take a look at. And that was actually one of the spots I told you, Brett and Rob that I wanted to take you up just to give you an idea of that. And it was definitely cool. It always is.
Well, what about the Clipper Ferry? Because we took that after the game on the way home.
Yeah, we already talked about that.
Oh, maybe. I don't know where the hell.
It had a bar on it.
Yeah, remember I told you how it had the bar on there, and then we had the observation deck on the outside?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot. My mistake. Because we did that after, so that's why I was so caught up.
Yeah. Yeah, then after like the whole thing with being done with the incline, of course, we had to take the shuttle bus over to South Hills Junction because, of course, the station was shut down for work. We actually saw someone get thrown off the shuttle bus because they were being an idiot. So got to see that. And then some dude was like passed out on there, but we got back with no problem. And then Britt, and then your wife says it was a very cold game. Yeah, right about that.
She's not wrong. Let's be honest.
That's nothing for Buffalonians. Come on.
Yeah. And then of course, you mentioned that Uber screwed up your late night dinner because they never delivered.
Okay, so the story behind that is we were coming home from the game, and at this point, we didn't get back to the hotel till like I want to say like a little after 10, like maybe like 10 after 10 or something like that, somewhere in that between. And we were going to order McDonald's because we said, fuck it, let's just go get food. So the next thing you know, Britt's like, babe, I want to get food. I'm hungry, whatever. And I said, sure, what do you want? She's like, can we get something quick? I'm like, well, what's around here? And we saw McDonald's was right down the block. We said, screw it, let's get McDonald's and be done with it. So we order it in, and I do a decent tip every time I order out because it's polite. And then all of a sudden, it's like, I'll be there in 10 minutes. I'll be there in 10 minutes. I'll be there in 10 minutes. And at the time this all happens, it was like 10:16, 10:29, 10:36, 10:48. And I'm like, fuck this. I am just going to cancel the order. I don't want to hear shit. I canceled the order. And then next day we made up for it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, Pittsburgh was a lot of fun. And, you know, like I said, you know, we went on the incline. We went, you know, we tried to order food. Didn't really work out. But at the end of the day, though, you know, Pittsburgh was a lot of fun as far as the Steelers' perspective.
Mm-hmm.
But we left out one thing intentionally because we want to get to that on the second half.
Or do you want to talk about how we got to meet up a fellow YouTuber now?
Yes.
So let's get to that. So that was Monday. So pretty much Monday, we didn't really do a whole ton other than we had some time to kill. So of course we went to the zoo and aquarium, which there wasn't much to see there. It was cold, so of course a lot of the stuff wasn't there. The aquarium was nice though. And then after we did that, then we had a little bit of time to kill. So we went down to the waterfront, and that's just right outside of Homestead. So we killed some time. Rob had to look at his collectibles again, so go figure. But it all worked out, and we were able to kill some time until we went to a place called Roman Bistro over in Forest Hills. And Roman Bistro is actually really, really good. They had some really nice food there. The waitress we had was really awesome. And as I say, if by some chance she's watching, Lindsay, hey, thank you for being great to us. We appreciate it. And same to everybody there. But we actually got to have dinner with YouTube star Urinating Tree. And we actually got to break bread with him for about an hour and a half, and really cool guy in person too. And I know he does a lot of fun stuff on his shows. And of course, if you guys haven't had a chance to check him out, of course, yeah, definitely check him out. And I bet he probably went off the deep end about the Steelers after the Bills game took place. But no, it was a good time. So all of us ended up having dinner, and you know, great time. He signed some stuff for us. We signed some stuff for him, and I've got some stuff here in the office now, and you know, that will frame up, and you know, really good time overall. Great guy. So you know, we appreciate that. He took the time to meet us, and I know he appreciated us with the invite as well, and just really good time overall.
Yeah, definitely. I got to tell you, I was very surprised by Tree because, for one, this is a guy that hardly ever, you know, hangs out with other people other than his, you know, his colleagues on YouTube. You know, guys like 5 Points or Brandon Perna, Tom Grossi. This is a guy that does not go out a whole lot. But the fact that we were given or presented an opportunity to talk to him again, we said, hey, Tree, just to let you know, and mind you, this was in August when we talked to him. We said, hey, Tree, we're coming to Pittsburgh in November. We were wondering if you would like to come join us for dinner. And he agreed, and he said yes. So him and I were talking for about 2 weeks at this point. And I said, well, where do you live, and what's the best place we can meet up? And he's like, you know, I live here, here, and here. We're not going to disclose anything because I don't want to give anything away.
Right.
So I told him, let's meet at this location. And then I said to Tom, let's find a place that's near his house. And we ended up finding a place called Roman Bistro in Forest Hill, which Tom was just saying. And we got a table of 5. Obviously, me, Tom, Brittany, and Rob. And then the 5th person was Urinating Tree. So we were thinking that this guy was going to be a bluff, you know, he was going to blow us off or whatever. And then all of a sudden, here comes this 6'3" man that I recognize on the back of my head. I'm like, holy shit, Urinating Tree's here. And no, he was great. We were talking to him for what, 90 minutes?
Yeah, we were there about an hour and a half.
Yeah, no, it was a grand old time. And just for the record, we do have pictures and we do have evidence. So if you want to see the evidence, here you go. There's your evidence.
Yep.
What do you think, Damien?
I laugh how he's crouched down so you guys don't look that small.
Right.
Yeah, no. He is a tall dude.
Yeah.
He is
but really good guy, though. Really good guy.
Yeah, he is a tall motherfucker. Let me put it that way. But he did say to us was, if you ever need anything, let me know. Or if you ever come back to Pittsburgh, hit me up. And I'm like, you got it.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very good time in Pittsburgh, especially with dinner. Oh my God. That was like crazy. In fact, do you have the autograph, Tom?
Not in my office right now.
Okay, because I have it as well, but my book where I keep my autographs, his auto is in that book, and it's not in my apartment right now. It's in my closet, but I'm not going through all that because we're on a live show right now. But you know what? At the end of the day, Pittsburgh was a grand old time. We still have one more thing to talk about while we're in Pittsburgh, but we'll talk about on the hockey side of things, which is obviously the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Right. Very true. So, that being said, we've gone on almost the first hour. So I would say, good time. Let's take a quick commercial. And then what we'll do is we'll come back with the second half where we talk about hockey. And then, of course, we're going to announce our next guest. So stick with us. We'll be right back.
Alrighty.
This episode of I-86 After Dark is brought to you by Superfry, right here in Merrick, New York. Superfry is serving up homemade soup, legendary hand-cut fries, and wraps that always hit the spot. And if you're hungry for something next level, try the Zazzini, stacked with crispy bacon, melted mozzarella cheese, juicy chicken cutlet, and their signature Roscoe dressing. One bite and you'll know why it's a local favorite. So when you're craving real flavor, head to Superfry in Merrick, New York. Big taste, handcrafted, and always fresh. To place your order, call 516-379-SOUP or just scan the QR code on your screen and get Superfry fast.
All right, welcome back to the second half of I-86 After Dark. Of course, you got me, the Ginger Hammer, the Great Dane, Buffalo Bob. And of course, you guys are welcome to comment as long as you'd like. So let's dive into the second half where we talk about hockey. And of course, I'm going to turn it over to you guys with the Islanders as there's the big rumor mill going. And I can feel my voice going. So I'm going to come off the camera for a few.
Yep. Okay, so while he's taking his little vagina break, Damien, there's been a lot of chatter about the Islanders as of late because obviously we know what happened over the weekend against the Flyers. Kyle Palmieri tore his ACL and he's out for the remainder of the year.
Yep, and this is the second player we lost in a month for the season. Romanoff first, Palm second. He did make a great assist on his way out the door.
Oh, yeah, that was easily the best moment of the season for him. I mean,
I
who often does that?
It was my favorite moment of the season so far. It was just insane.
Like, even though they lost that game, it's like, who cares? They did something awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But
like I've already discussed with you earlier, in earlier podcasts that I don't want the Islanders to go out there and mortgage the future just for a stopgap. I know replacing Palms is going to be tough. Romanoff wasn't having a great season up to that point anyway. But I think this is not a time that we're going to have to see what Shabanoff and Richie have. They're going to have to step up, and we're going to have to see what we have in those two players.
Yeah, no. The other player, too, I want to point out that also needs to step up is Max Siplikov. That guy hasn't done anything this year so far.
Yeah, well, I think the problem with Siplikov is, especially this year as opposed to last year, the Islanders were a slow team. They've been a slow team for the last 5 years. And Siplikov is a slow skater. And now that the team is starting to get a little quicker, his lack of speed is showing even more.
Yeah, and that's not good. Because if you don't have the skating ability, especially in today's NHL, you're going to be exposed. And there's a chance you might get canned out of town, depending where you are.
Mm-hmm.
No,
I absolutely agree with you on that. The thing that pissed me off the most this going into this homestand was, they had the fabulous 6-1 record on the 7-game road trip. And then an article came out in the New York Post stating that when they get back to UBS, that UBS better be full house and raucous. And yes, I agree. But then the Islanders need to deliver on that. And did they deliver?
No.
I mean, they lost 3-1 to just this week since the last podcast. Because going in, they were even worse going in. But they lost 3-1 to the Boston Bruins. They won in the shootout against the Flyers 4-3. Lost 4-1 to the Capitals before finally beating Tampa Bay 2-1 yesterday in regulation. But they only had 9 goals in 6 home games. You want fans to come out for 9 goals in 6 home games? You got to be kidding me.
Yeah, that's honestly, that's just stirring the pot for expectations.
Yeah. And it's like, and then they're going to be going back out on the road soon.
Yeah. And what's even worse, too, is now that we're actually discussing this, is that the Islanders right now are only, a game and a half back of the Flyers, mind you. Mm-hmm. And the Flyers have beaten the Sabres as we speak. That's not going to be good because the Islanders are now going to have to make up double the amount of wins that they've currently had in that homestand than the one they did against Tampa Bay the other day. And mind you, they play Tampa 3 times. They play all their regular season series games against Tampa Bay in the next 2 weeks. It's like,
well, just this week alone coming up, they have Colorado, Tampa Bay, Florida Panthers, Vegas Golden Knights. What do those 4 teams all have in common? They've all won the Stanley Cup in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
So it's not looking good. I mean, they did get off to a good start yesterday, but I mean, they had to put a lot of shots on Vasilevsky before they popped in 2, and they still almost blew the game.
I mean, even by that standard, I mean, I'm glad that they was able to at least hold on to the lead, but Tampa Bay is no slouch. The Bolts have a very good team.
They're first right now in the Atlantic. They were on a 7-game winning streak before they lost to us yesterday. You know what pissed me off the most in that game though?
Tell me.
When they were up 2-0, little under 4 minutes left to go in the game, Cooper pulls his goalie already, trying to be like Patrick Waugh, trying to be a cool guy. And I was like, wow, this is really early. But now I'm thinking, no, it's not, because the Islanders never fucking score in an open net. I was like, so if I was a coach, I'd pull it with 4 minutes left too. You basically have a 4-minute power play. And they did. And this team had 2 or 3 shots at the empty net and missed either wide left or wide right. It's like they can't even score on an empty net. How are they going to score with a goalie in the net?
Well, that's a great question because you have all these guys that have the ability to put the puck in the net, but it's like they're just dumping and chasing. Like it's almost like the old 2000s Devils, where the Devils were a trapezoid team and they played that notorious trap game, but they weren't always big on scoring goals and empty netters. This is the philosophy that Lou Lamoriello left behind on the island was, this is my team and we're going to play the trapezoid and it works and wins championships, but we can't put shit in the net.
I know. And where is Jay tonight? I was going to talk about his Jets.
Oh, yeah. We actually do have a comment coming in, and it's from Ed, and he said, the difference between the Atlantic and the Metropolitan is insane, and if the Islanders were in the Atlantic, they would be in a much better spot. You're right, because you're in a division with the Buffalo Sabres, you're in a division with the Tampa Bay Lightning, you're in a division with the Florida Panthers, and you're in a division with the Detroit Red Wings.
I mean, the Sabres would be in last place if it wasn't for the Florida Panthers right now, because the Florida Panthers have had so many injuries this season that they're a point below the Sabres right now.
Like, it's not even their fault that they're in this position. It's just they had the worst luck. I mean, Kachuk was out till January. Sasha Barkov tore his ACL. And it's like, shit. Oh, and by the way, did I mention that there's been 3 ACL injuries this year?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
it's like the in football when they pull the Achilles all the time. That seems to be like the football injury all the time. Now in hockey, it's the ACL all the time.
is very common in football, but it's very uncommon in hockey. And all of a sudden now, 3 star players or 2 star players, however you want to describe it, are all out with ACL tears. Sasha Barkov, Kyle Palmieri, Tyler Seguin. All 3 of those guys tore their ACLs this year.
Yep, I would feel bad for Dallas, but fuck them. And Brett Hull was still in the crease.
But yeah, no, there was actually an emergent rumor that's been going around lately. There's actually been 2 revolving around the Islanders, because you know how you just made that comment 5 minutes ago saying that, you know, they don't want to, you know, empty the bank and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The rumor is Darsh's not going to do anything because he's not going to make a deal for the sake of making a deal, and it has to make sense for the team, which I can understand.
Yeah, in the long run.
Yeah, in the long run. Short term, though, depends what you get. Because there is actually a rumor going around, the report suggesting that the Islanders could be in play of making a big splash of a trade. And the trade talk is that they're talking to the Vancouver Canucks about defenseman Philip Roenick. And the proposed return would be a 2026 first-round pick and more, end quote. And that would be given up Philip Roenick's $7.25 million cap hit with a no-movement clause. And the question, do you think, is does the deal make sense for the Canucks, or should they hang up the phone?
I mean, anything that I've seen with the Vancouver Canucks on any player that they're putting on the block is a first-round pick, a prospect, and more. I mean, they're asking that for every single player they're putting out there.
Yeah, no. It's like, what the fuck are they thinking? Like, what are they smoking? I mean, we tried to talk about the Canucks last week during the Thanksgiving special, and then, you know, our buddy Alex Hirschdorf came out and saying, yeah, the Canucks, I think they're a good team, but they need to have the hokey pokey and turn themselves around. Like, no, dude, that's not how this fucking works. They're a shit show. But
there is other rumors too, because the Sabres are also tied to Vancouver too with Kiefer Sherwood. And guess what the asking price is?
A
first round pick and an asset. It's like,
of course,
hell no. This guy's 30 years old already.
Karma's a bitch, Vancouver. Yeah, and we have another comment, and this is from Brittany. She said, he is a very chill dude and easy to talk to. She's referring to urinating Trey.
Well, I know she wasn't talking about you.
Wow. Wow.
You know I had to throw that one in there.
Well, it's not like I'm her husband or something.
Nah.
But
She just got to put up with you.
yeah, she does, but I take care of her. But the other thing, too, that's been going around, not only is Philip Roenick's name been thrown around, but Rasmus Anderson's been brought up.
That's the one that I want. I'd rather have that deal.
Yep, and the rumor is that the Calgary Flames and the New York Islanders are talking about a trade that will send Rasmus Anderson to the New York Islanders, and it's going to likely cost a first-round pick and a top prospect. Now, the question is, if you're Calgary, who would you want in return? You obviously want to give up the higher pick between the first 2 rounders, because the Islanders, it's not a guarantee they make the playoffs.
Yeah, no,
but it's also a guarantee that they're getting a high pick because of Colorado.
Yes. I mean, I'm curious about what kind of high prospect they want, because they're not getting Yzerman. So,
maybe it's someone like in the likes of like Kayshawn Aitchison. Maybe it's
he's been so good this year, though. I mean, it is juniors and everything, but oh Lord, he's scoring at a clip that's incredible.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you, but it's just crazy that
I like this deal better, but on the same token, I mean, Rasmus Anderson's 29 already, so he's not exactly young, but he's in his prime.
Right, but here's my philosophy. I think it all comes down to mobility. Because Philip Roenick, if I'm not mistaken, is also around the same age as Anderson. Mm-hmm. And he requested a trade from Calgary a while ago. So I think there's a possibility that Anderson has a better chance of coming to Long Island than Philip Roenick.
I think so, too.
I mean, I'm just thinking.
Only because Vancouver is asking way too much for all of their trade pieces.
And you wonder why the Canucks are a joke.
No, I don't. Their GM is a joke.
The whole team is a joke because you have to remember, you have Patrick Alvin as the GM, and then you have Jimmy Rutherford as the president of hockey operations.
Yeah, and he's running everything. We all know he's running everything.
Yeah, and you know what? He tried to pull the same shit with the Penguins when he was the GM there,
Mm-hmm.
and he wanted a first-round pick for everybody.
Yep. I mean, you could ask that all day if you want, but I mean, good luck with that.
I mean, you could, but you never really know what you're going to get out of Jimmy Rutherford, considering, hey, I won a Stanley Cup 20 years ago, but that's the problem. Well, actually, that's not true. He also won a cup 10 years ago.
Yeah.
With the Penguins.
Well, I mean, he's probably going to get a first for Rasmus Anderson because he's a right shot defenseman, and they're very rare in today's game, at least good right shot defensemen. But asking a first and prospects for Kiefer Sherwood is ridiculous.
I absolutely agree with you 100%. Look, Kiefer Sherwood is a good defenseman, but he is not a first-round pick kind of a player. It's not like you're trading, a first-round pick for, like, Roman Yossi or something, or, like, Rasmus Dahlin. You're not going to get defensemen of that caliber anymore, at least from the modern NHL.
Yeah. I'm just looking up his stats for this year.
What do you got?
For Kiefer Sherwood.
Let's see if he's actually worth it down.
Yeah, he's right wing. He's 30 years old. I think he had a career year last year. But that was like his first. Yeah, he played 78 games. He had 19 goals, 21 assists for 40 points. And you want a first round for that? And then this year so far, he's got 12 goals in 27 games. That looks great. He's also a -7, though.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, it looks like he's starting to come into his own a little bit, but he's not worth a first round pick.
No, he's not. And I don't understand why anybody would ever even entertain that idea.
It's the Sabres. That's why.
I've also heard. Hold on. Sorry about that. I've also heard recently that the Flyers were in on Quinn Hughes and the Sabres were also in on Quinn Hughes. But we briefly talked about it last week.
Well, I think every single team should be on Quinn Hughes. Come on.
I mean, yeah, fair enough. But still, it's Quinn Hughes of all people. Players like him don't come around. They don't grow on trees.
No. But we already got ours. We got Schaefer, so we're good.
Why don't we just get another one and just get?
Oh, I mean, we can always do another one. We can always be greedy.
Well, I mean, if you want to build a cup contender, this is the way to do it. This is the way of doing it, especially in the modern NHL. But
since we are talking about trades, a lot of trades, and I don't know if the Ginger Hammer's still there because we could transition to the Sabres here.
Yeah,
he's still there.
He's actually choking on his own cock.
Oh shit!
Oh shit!
No, I actually had to hack up a lung for a few moments. That's why I took myself off. So yeah, not feeling.
But we all know how like the Sabres goaltending crease has been very, very crowded this year.
Yeah,
with Alex Lyon, Colton Ellis, and Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, and now. They were talking about trading, their young star in Rochester, but now they're talking about possibly trading UPL.
Hey,
how do you guys feel?
I'd honestly rather keep Levi because I think UPL is more of a liability at this point with just how much he's been hurt over the last several seasons and the fact that he just hasn't really done a lot to prove himself to me at this point. And of course, if anyone's wondering, it's 5-2 Phillies right now. And surprisingly, we actually are ahead of them on shots right now, 19-18. So, and there's a big ass fight that just broke out.
Yeah, because somebody got hurt.
Yeah, Colton Ellis is in goal tonight, isn't he?
Yes, Colton Ellis is in goal for the Sabres. It's
that's
crazy.
That's it. Trade him. He led in 5 goals. Trade him.
Yeah. Somebody just tried to kill Trevor Zegras. I'll say that. Someone just tried to kill Zegras.
There's your urinating tree.
Yep.
There it is. Urinating tree. Yeah, he had to go grab that real quick. But yeah, no, urinating tree. That guy was great. But how do you feel about the Sabres right now, Tom? Because, they've been kind of all over the place lately.
Yeah, that's the thing I don't like about them is that they've been all over the place. There's just no consistency, and that's the problem. I mean, there's nights that they play great against some really good teams, and they get some nice wins. But then there's other nights where they just don't show up, and it's like you never know what you're going to get with them, and that's one of the biggest problems that I'm seeing with this group right now. And really what should be happening is that you got to be consistent on a nightly basis. You can't be going in and just being like, oh, hey, we're going to show up one night and then we're going to not show up another night, take a night off. You got to play every single game the full 60 minutes, and we're not getting that right now. Power play is not doing
this
great.
Past weekend, I would say, was a microcosm of the entire season for them.
Yeah.
I mean, they lost 5-0 to the Devils at home.
Right.
And then go to Minnesota to play the Wild, who's doing very well this season, and they win 3-2 in the shootout.
Yeah, I don't understand the Buffalo Sabres because it's like they're very inconsistent. They don't know what they want to be. They don't know if they're going to be good or if they're going to be bad. They have to be somewhere down the middle of the road. It's like they can't go on a consistent win streak anymore.
Right, and that's one of the biggest problems that they have right now. If they would be more consistent, then I wouldn't have as much of a problem with it right now. But let's be honest, the Sabres are not consistent right now. They're a good team almost when they want to be, but it's like, when is that going to happen?
And hardly ever anything happens. Oh, and if you're wondering, Rasmus Dahlin tried to kill Trevor Zegras with a boarding penalty.
Nice.
Well, I mean, this is going to be a big test for them because they're on a 6-game road trip, and their record so far, they're only 2-6-2 on the road.
Right.
So the Islanders are good on the road, terrible at home. Sabres are pretty good at home, terrible on the road. So exactly opposite.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. But we actually do have a comment. And Ed says, don't understand the concept of constantly switching goalies. And the Sabres never really give him any of the goalies a chance to establish themselves.
That's a good point. And they really haven't. And literally what should be going on, I mean, you have Lyon, of course, Colton Hollis, and then you've got UPL. Honestly, we should only have 2 goaltenders. We shouldn't be running 3. Use that third spot and bring up either another forward or bring up another defenseman, and so we can strengthen the pairings. It's not that difficult to do. And honestly, trade UPL, get some value back for him, because he could fetch something on the trade market. And realistically, what I would do too is maybe, for example, maybe we run with Lyon and run Levi. I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, I don't think I ever remember a 3-goalie system ever working for a team. But in order to trade UPL, they got to play them so you can showcase them.
Right. And that's one of the big problems we're running into right now.
Yeah, that's a big problem, and that's something that Buffalo has to address, because if they don't get their priorities straight, then they're in for another failed season. And I think Tom called it earlier, where I think it was in June when we talked about the JJ Peterka trade, and he went off the cliff, and he basically went ape shit, saying this team's not going to make the playoffs. They traded JJ Peterka. Why did they do that? Yeah, he was just not having it. And we actually have a comment. And Ed once again says the Sabres need to trade off or send off one of the goalies, but Adams is too scared to do literally anything.
He's not wrong. Adams will not pull the trigger when he needs to, and yet he'll hold on for people way too long. And granted, thinking about getting rid of Peterka, as much as I liked him, sure, you get Doan and you end up getting Kesselring. Okay, not bad. Kesselring, when he's healthy, he'll be a good addition. Doan's been fine when he's been in, but realistically, Adams should not be here anyways.
It's ludicrous, really. I mean, they have to figure out something because if they don't get their priorities straight, they're fucked.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They already are.
Yeah.
I think in a lot of ways.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, and it's also been revealed that Kevin Dineen, the former, Florida Panthers legend, has been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer.
Ooh, that sucks to hear.
It does suck. But
Yeah, it's never a good one.
No, it never is.
It's not. Yeah, one of my relatives died from that. So, yeah, definitely not something you ever want to deal with.
No, it's tough. But, I hope he gets the proper treatment that he needs and makes a speedy recovery. At least that's what I hope for his sake.
Yep. Of course.
But, yeah, definitely. But, what was I going to say? So, Tom, I think it's finally time to tell Damien the other half of Road to 32.
Let's get that juicy story going.
Yeah, so Bob, myself, and Rob, we went to a Pittsburgh Penguins game where they ended up playing the Toronto Maple Leafs. And that was an interesting game because the Maple Leafs beat the living hell out of the Pens. So 7-2. Shelov's got chased out of the pipes when it was 4-1. Then Tristan Jarry comes in. He wasn't much better. Pittsburgh was completely flat. They did nothing all night. Malkin did nothing. Crosby got a goal, but he wasn't really effective. There was no defensive play whatsoever from the Pens. Their offense looked like ass. I mean, sure, they had a nice little win streak going before that, but man, that team was flat.
Yeah, no, the Penguins, they just looked like ass. I mean, there was no defense. Their goaltending is ass. As I think if I'm not mistaken, Archer Seeloff was the starting goalie for the Penguins, and then he got chased out of the crease, and then Tristan Jarry was no better. And at the end of the day, the Leafs just outright went to Pittsburgh and kicked their ass.
Mm-hmm. They did, and there was no stopping them on that one. It was just an ugly, ugly game, to say the least.
But on the one hand, it helps the Islanders. But on the other hand, it's going to boost Pittsburgh's ego.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it will. And you know what? And I will say, the Maple Leafs wanted it more. They played well. They earned that win. Just saying it straight up. And although we did see a couple Maple Leafs fans get arrested, which was always fun to see because that usually happens like any time that I've ever been to a Sabres game here where they've been up here. But, overall, the Leafs played like they wanted it more. So, of course, they deserve the win.
Absolutely. But I will say is that we should probably tell the gang or the crowd what I got at the Penguins game.
Okay. Go for it.
You want to see it?
Mm-hmm.
Damien, you want to see it?
Okay.
All right. All right, cool. I'll be right back. I'm going to go get something for you guys. And this is from the Penguins game. I swear to God, I love it. Let me show you guys.
Penguins game. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, what do you want to talk about while he's gone? Always back.
It kind of depends, Yeah, I will say. Then we had like the little. Oh, there we go. The hockey stick that you could throw beer in.
Yep. Now I have two of these. You remember this, Damien, from my Hurricane strip?
Yes.
I got one from the Penguins.
I mean, it's not as cool as the Sabre.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no shit. But at least this could get me wins.
There you go. You don't even drink.
Yeah, I know. But it's still cool, though.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
It is very cool. I have two of these now. I want to get a beer saver, but, if anybody that's willing to give me a beer saver, I'll give it to you. I'll pay you straight up if you guys get me a saber beer.
I'll see what I could do, but like I think they underestimated the popularity, which I don't understand because Buffalo's a drinking town. It's like, come on.
Right.
So they have very limited quantities, which is why they're only offering on Fridays and Saturdays. And they said if they needed to order more to keep up with the demand, that they wouldn't be in till playoff time.
Oh, my God. But we all know that's not going to happen.
I wasn't going there, but I was just telling you what I heard.
Based on all that, yes. But no, what's it called? So we have a comment from Eddie. He has two of them. He said Josh Norris looked great in his game back against shitty Eric Connery, but where is he tonight? Again, inconsistent as hell.
Yep.
Fucking Buffalo. I mean,
well, I think Josh Norris is a great player, but like we just talked about with UPL and even in Kesseling too, like can they stay healthy?
Right.
Yeah.
If Norris and Kesselring can stay healthy, then that makes the team 100% better. But right now, that's not the case.
Yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it, Jay should normally be on here, but I haven't seen him in 2 episodes.
He wasn't here last week either?
Yeah, no, he didn't show up last week, and he didn't show up today.
Oh, man. That's because I wanted too much for the helmet.
And I guess he's doing it out of spite. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if he did, But yeah, no.
Well, his Jets also took a shit though too, man.
Yeah.
Against the shitty Sabres.
Yeah, I mean they're really bad lately.
I don't understand it, but it is what it is. But you know what though? I think it's safe to say that free agency in baseball, before we get to our guest for next week, Devin Williams to the Mets. Damien, how do you feel?
I mean, I wasn't really thrilled about it. I know he's kind of like a stopgap in case they lose Sugar, Edwin Diaz. I'm not holding out hope that Diaz still doesn't come back to the Mets. But if you look at Devin Williams' underlying numbers, he had a really high ERA last year, but he was also playing in hitter-friendly Yankee Stadium. Him coming over now to Citi Field and his underlying numbers, this could be a good pickup for the Mets.
I would love for I would love for them to bring back Edwin Diaz also, and if they're able to successfully bring him back on a short-term deal, him and Devin Williams, they would be the best 1-2 punch in closing pitchers in baseball.
That would be great. I'm just more looking forward to Alonso, though. I want Alonso back. Alonso's got to get back.
Yep, here we go. Here's the entitlement of Yankees fans, presented by Lawrence GQ60P, whatever the fuck your number is. He says, goodbye, says the Yankee fans say. He can't handle the pressure of being in New York. I'm pretty sure
but he's still in New York.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see how it goes. Like I said, it's going to come down to the stadium difference. He's coming to a pitcher-friendly ballpark where the Mets play, as opposed to Yankee Stadium that's more hitter-friendly.
Well, I was going to say is that, I mean, it's not like he had a choice because he was traded there. He didn't have a say in it. I mean, I would be too if, I was traded for Nestor Cortez. Just saying.
Yeah.
But you know what, though? The other thing, too, that really caught my attention was, did you see that casino improvement on the project that Stephen Cohen's going to get involved with?
I looked at a little bit of it. The thing is I hate casinos. I'm not a big gambler. I just hate how they're always talking about development and jobs when they bring these casinos in. But does that ever happen? No. I mean, when they brought the casino into Niagara Falls, that was supposed to be such a big thing for the New York side of Niagara Falls. Never developed into that. They brought the casino downtown next to the Sabres Arena. That was supposed to develop that area. Has it? No, not really. So I'm not a big proponent of casinos.
Fair enough.
And being someone that lives in Niagara Falls, trust me, if you're like anywhere outside like 3 blocks of the casino, it is a dump. It is straight up a dump. And I mean, there's been no revitalization whatsoever. And of course, I still think the Niagara Falls local government screwed up a lot of things also because they don't really do much of anything up here. They're kind of useless. But then the city of Buffalo did nothing either. I mean, and it took forever for them to build that casino. They were originally going to have a hotel there, but that didn't happen. Oh, and basically with that, what else is opened up around the arena? Not much.
Yeah.
In all honesty. Now, okay, the DLNW terminal is going to open next week, which will be nice. It'll be a permanent station for the arena, but the bridge into the arena is not going to be at least for another year. So now you're walking at least a block the opposite way compared to where you get off now for Sabres games. But it'll be interesting to see what they end up doing with that, though. But altogether, I mean, it's not been that great here. They haven't used the development funds wisely or by any means. And and who knows what'll happen down by you guys, but I don't think it's going to be the exact, answer.
Yeah. And then Ed says casinos equals crime, not development. He's got a point.
I mean, are you guys gamblers? Because I'm not. So
I'm not.
I am no gambler by any means.
Yeah. I've only been in the casino up here maybe a couple of times at best. And that's about it.
I only gamble if I'm on vacation on a cruise. But other than that, I don't do that.
When I go to gamble, when the Sabres give you that $15 free play on the back of your ticket, and then I go in there with that, and I piss through that in about 2 minutes, and then I go, okay, I'm going to go have a beer now, and then I leave.
Yeah. Or sometimes I'll throw maybe like 10 or 20 bucks on FanDuel or DraftKings, but that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But the reason I bring that up is because on Monday, it was officially approved that Steve Cohen and Hard Rock have officially been awarded a New York casino license. And there's going to be an $8 billion Metropolitan Park project next to Citi Field that is projected to be open in June of 2030.
I changed my mind now. I heard Hard Rock, so, I'm totally on board. I'm still not on board.
Yep, you've heard that correct. It is Hard Rock. Like Hard Rock Stadium in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
But but Tom, you think it's time to announce who the guest is first? But do you think we should let people guess who it is?
Let's let them take a couple guesses first.
All right, so there's 3 guesses you guys are going to get. This guess is, honestly, Tom and I did an interview with him a couple of months back. Holy hell, this was a great interview. But I can't wait for this to be published so you guys can hear a different perspective from him. But so guess number 1 is his family's legacy is immortalized in a major architectural structure in Western New York that houses works by multiple artists like Jackson Pollock and Clifford Still. Guess number 2. He shares a common connection with the city of Buffalo and the sport of professional lacrosse, specifically a team named after a Native American tribe. And the third guess is that he is a private equity and financial consultant whose current firm is based in New York City, and his grandfather's name is on a major national college football award. That's your 3 guesses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We know, me and Tom know who it is, but do you have any ideas who it is, Damien?
Well, yeah, because we've talked about it a couple times.
All right.
I would have got it from the first guess, though.
Yeah, I think so at that point. But you know what? Fuck it. So I think with that being said, I think it's time to announce who the guest is going to be. So with that being said, without further ado, next Wednesday's guest is going to be fuck me. Drum roll, please. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Fucking tongue twisters. Anyway, so the guest is Yes. So Seymour H. Knox IV on I-86 After Dark next Wednesday. And if you're not familiar with that name, his father is Seymour H. Knox III, the original owners of the Buffalo Sabres, along with his brother Northrop.
Yep.
What did 1 and 2 do, though?
Yeah. No, that was...
Not sure about that, but I will say this, though. That was a fun interview to be a part of. It really, really was. And lots of cool stuff we got to talk about. Actually, I still have to take Seymour up on the art tour and lunch one of these days. But since he did offer that, so we'll take him up on that. But no, just a lot of fun stuff in the entire interview. We got to talk a lot about the Sabres, his family's legacy, what they do in the community now, and just overall, really, really nice guy.
Yeah, definitely. And you know what, too? I got to learn a lot about the Sabres. I got to learn about like what his family ties were and how they were heavily involved within the community, and a lot of the architectures that you see around Buffalo, that's his family's doing. So that was very cool. So like, let me give you a prime example, Damien. You know that statue of Girl Shark?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Shark Girl, that was the Knox family. Seymour 4 was involved with that project.
I have a picture with her somewhere.
Yeah, so if you ever need to thank anybody for that in Buffalo, it's Seymour Knox the 4th. And then Ed said, that's a nice get for you guys, and we'll be interested in checking that one out. Indeed. So
yeah, definitely. They'll be up next Wednesday night, right at 9 p.m., of course. Check it out after the show.
Yeah, and you know what, too? I just realized, Tom and Damien, we're the only independent sports podcast on YouTube or anywhere for that matter to have an exclusive interview with him.
Yeah, and we were trying to look to see like if he's interviewed anywhere else, and we could not find anything. It's very rare that someone is able to get him. So the fact that we were able to land him, I mean, it was just awesome. And the fact that he's going to be coming back is even better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're having him on the air on December 17th with Gil Martin as well to cover the Sabres Islander game. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to do that. And no, it's going to be a good show. I certainly know that. And you know what? At the end of the day, Seymour Knox IV, great guy. You know, Tom and I had the pleasure and the opportunity to talk to him. And he brought in a lot of good information for us. And let me just say, I am beyond excited that we even interviewed the damn guy.
Yeah, definitely a great time. So, fun interview. So definitely check it out when we put it up, and I think you guys are going to like what you see.
Definitely. But is there anything else you guys want to say before we get out of here?
I got a couple things coming up. So, next Thursday, December 11th, is going to be our next Islander watch party at Pubski Pub in Cheektowaga at 7 p.m. against the Anaheim Ducks. So come on out. It's 50-cent wing night. So $2 Jennies too. So super cheap night. I want to do a cheap night because December's a tough month for people. Plus, we also have the Islanders coming up here to Buffalo on Saturday, December 20th for the 5 p.m. game. And we're going to be doing a pregame meetup at the Hopbrow House starting at 2 p.m. So we reserved a couple tables in there. So you can just come on in, stop by, have a beer with us, have a snack, say hi before the game. And I got some stickers that just came in. So if anybody wants a sticker, they can get some stickers. But
I want one.
Yeah, I know. I have to send you guys one. So that's what we got coming up for December. And then the reason I'm wearing this shirt tonight here too, T-bone steak, cheese, eggs, and Welch's Great, because I'm a huge Biggie fan. So and I just did karaoke on Friday, and I sung Biggie and brought the house down. I'm just gonna tell you.
That's funny. What about you, Tom?
Don't really have too much to say other than, right now, of course, unfortunately, Darlene got the game of conduct, so hey, that sucks. But other than that, don't have a whole lot going on. Just, let's have some fun, and hopefully the Sabres do a little bit something. Hopefully the Bills will keep their winning ways going against Cincinnati next week, and let's just see what happens with it.
Definitely. So I think that with being said, I think we're going to wrap up for this week. It was a really good show. I know Tom and I, we were not in the best condition for it. I know Tom was a little under the weather, and then I have a bit of a scratchy throat. You could kind of tell I had a high pitch. It wasn't intentional. It was because I had a scratchy voice.
No, that's all right. I carried the show. Don't worry about it.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
I'll be sick soon, so you guys can carry me.
Yeah. So with that being said, you know who this is on the bottom. This is Ginger Hammer, aka Tom.
Yep.
And then you have the great Damien, and then myself, I'm Buffalo Bob. And we are going to be logging off for the night. So until then, we will see you guys next Wednesday. And be sure to catch the interview with Seymour H. Knox IV. It's going to be a fun one. So with that being said, we're out of here, guys. Have a good night.
Take care of yourselves and each other. We'll see you next week.